of the Always Believe House. Today we're going to learn how to solve systems of equations with elimination. What's elimination, you ask? Oh, well, you're about to find out. If for those going on to this future in math, this is the beginning of using a matrix. We will not use matrices in Algebra 1, but later on in math, this right here is the process of beginning to use a matrix. So we're going to solve this, and a magical whiteboard appears, and you have systems of equations right in front of you. And let's fill in these notes. A system contains two equations. And in Algebra 1, our equations will have two variables and two equations. In Algebra 2, you'll do three equations and three variables, which will be in three-dimensional space. Okay? The solution to a system is where the two lines intersect. You're trying to find the ordered pair where the two lines intersect, which would be like this, right? If the lines are parallel, there's no solution. And if the lines are lying on top of each other, if they're the same line, there is infinitely many solutions. And I'm going to abbreviate that, okay? So you can have one solution, you can have no solution, parallel lines, or you can have infinitely many. Let's continue to go. Now then, what you're trying to do to eliminate, and I'm just going to do this, make both equations standard, and I think we're going to give these to you. So make both equations standard. Make both, let me spell it right, equations standard. Let me spell that right. Jiminy crickets. So you want both equations to be ax plus by equals c. Ax plus by equals c. And then the next step, make x or y opposites. And I'll explain that into a minute. So you want to get both equations in standard form, and we're going to do that for you. Then you want to make x or y opposites. You'll add straight down and solve for the other letter. It's a little bit easier than substitution, okay? So let's look at example 1, and I can zoom in. That's more power. Now then, look at the first one. And look at your x's. The x's are 3 and 4, right? But look at your y's. -2 and 2. These are opposites. And what happens if you add two opposite numbers? What if you add 3 and -3? They eliminate to 0, don't they? So once we have a set of letters, either the x's or the y's, that are opposites, we can add straight down, and that letter will eliminate. You've got to get every single integer problem right, or it's going to be wrong. So some of you are going to be using a calculator a lot. So let's look at this problem. 3x plus 4x would be 7x. My y's cancel out. I was taught to scratch them out. And then 10 plus 4 equals 14. This is a lot easier than substituting. You're going to divide both sides by 7, and you'll get x equals 2. I know what x is, now I got to get y. Now then, look at your equations and just say the numbers with no negatives out. You got 3, 2, and 4, or you have 4, 2, and 10. Which one would you rather work with? The 3, 2, 4 or the 4, 2, 10? The 3, 2, 4 is a little bit smaller in it. So I'm going to take this equation and rewrite it just like you did in substitution. Okay, so you're going to take one of the equations and write it to the right, make it the smaller equation, the ones with the smaller numbers. And I know what my x is, so I'm going to replace the x with 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 minus 2 equals 4. Then I'm going to take that 6 and move it across. So I'm going to subtract 6. You've got to be good at integers to do this. This is tough. If you cannot do 4 minus 6 in your brain and know that's -2, you're going to have to use a calculator, and this is going to take a long time. Just be patient with it and take the time to use a calculator. You'll get -2y equals 4 minus 6 is -2. Divide both sides by -2. There is a lot of integer work in here. If you could do these integer works, write a thank you note to your 6th grade math teacher, because this is when you learn how to do integers. The -2's on the left cancel out, so I'll have y. -2 divided by -2 is +1. And remember, the answer is the ordered pair. So my ordered pair would be 2, 1. Ho, 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 ho. Now then, if you were to put 2, 1 into those equations, both of them would be true. I'm not going to make you do that because it's just a lot of extra work. But if you were to put 2, 1 into the x and y into the equations, 3 times 2 minus 2 times 1 is 4, and 4 times 2 plus 2 times 1 is 10. That 2, 1 makes both equations true. Oh, that's also the point where the two lines cross. Let's do example 2. Look at your x's and y's. The x's are the same, but they're not opposites, are they? The y's have opposite signs, but the numbers don't work. So we're going to flip the signs of one of them. So basically, you're going to take and subtract the bottom one by multiplying by -1. So I'm going to not touch the top one, but I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by -1, and that will make my x's become opposite. So I'm going to take the first equation and write it down again, and I'm not going to change it. Now then, on the next equation, I'm going to multiply everything by -1. Technically, you could subtract these, but I like rewriting the whole thing. So a -1 times a +7 is a -7x. Notice my x's are opposites. -1 times -3 is a +3y. And a -1 times a -2 is a +2. Draw the bar. Since my x's are opposites, I'm going to add and go straight down. The x's will cancel out, won't they? 5y plus 3y is 8y. 14 plus 2 is 16, and 8 will divide into 16. We're going to keep these problems pretty simple for y'all, okay? This is steppy, okay? If you make one integer error, the whole thing's wrong. Now then, go back up to the top and say the numbers out loud. 7, 5, 14, 7, 3, 2. 7, 3, 2 is smaller in it. So I'm going to take this equation, 7x minus 3y equals -2, and I'm going to replace the y with 2. Okay, so I know y is equal to 2, so I'm going to substitute the y with 2. So I'm going to have 7x minus 6 equals -2. Move the 6 across. 7x equals, did I write that down right? Yes, I did. -2 plus 6 is 4, and I think this is going to be a fraction, so x is going to end up being 4 over 7. Let me make sure that's right. That would be correct, okay? So this is kind of you could get fractional answers here. So your answer is 4 over 7, 2. If I put 4 over 7, 2 into both equations, it works out to, both equations are true. So don't panic if you get a fraction. Let's go to the next one. Turn the page. Okay. This is pretty tough because you're going to have to multiply here. Okay, look at the first one. Look at your x's. 2 doesn't go into 3, does it? I can't get an opposite there, but look at your y's. This is a +1 and this is a -2 in it. The opposite of this would be a +2 and a -2, wouldn't it? So I can make my y's opposite, but I got to multiply that top equation by 2. So if I multiply the top equation by 2, the y's become opposite. So 2 times 2x is 4x, 2 times 1 is +2y, and 2 times 5 is 10. So I just multiplied that top equation by 2. Now then, I'm going to rewrite the second equation. And notice that my y's are opposites, aren't they? So I'm going to draw a bar and I'm going to go straight down and add. So on that problem, we had to multiply the top equation by 2 to create an opposite. Now then, go straight down and add. 4x plus 3x is 7x. The 2's cancel out. The y's cancel out. 10 plus 4 is 14. Divide by 7, and you get x equals 2. Oh, now they call the numbers out. 215, 324. They're pretty close. I would do the 215 because there's no negatives. So take the top equation. It doesn't matter which one. And write it over here. And I know the x is 2 in it. So I'm going to replace this x with 2. And now I'm going to solve for y. 2 times 2 is 4. What can I add 4 to and get 5? You're going to add 1, right? So 2, 1, would be the ordered pair that works. If you put 2 comma 1 into both equations, it works, okay? 2 times 2 plus 1 times 1 is 5. 3 times 2 minus 2 times 1 is 4. So if you put 2 comma 1 into the equations, they're both true. Let's go to number 4. Okay, on this one here, this is tough. The y's are opposite, but 3 doesn't go into 7, so I'm going to make the x's opposites. So my opposites are going to be negative 2 and positive 2, right? So I want to make that top x a negative 2 and my bottom x a positive 2. The bottom x is already positive 2, so I need to multiply that top equation by negative 2. So I'm going to bluebell truck negative 2 to every equation. Now then, that's going to turn into negative 2x minus 6y equals negative 12. Use a calculator if you can't do the negative, you can't do the multiplying. And then I'm going to rewrite that second equation and not change it. Now then, notice the x's are opposites are going to cancel. That's why it's called elimination. Now they go straight down and do the arithmetic. Negative 6 minus 7 is a negative 13y. Negative 12 minus 1, you're going to add and keep the sign, negative 13. Divide both sides by negative 13. 2 negatives makes a positive. You'll get y equal 1. Go up to the top. I'm going to take the x, or the 1, 3, 6, so x plus 3y equals 6. And I'm going to replace that y with 1. Then just solve it for x. So x plus 3 equals 6. Move the 3 over. X equals 3. So my ordered pair, remember, it's x comma y. So my ordered pair would be 3 comma 1. And if you were to go up to the top, 3 plus 3 times 1 is 6. 2 times 3 minus 7 times 1 is negative 1. That ordered pair makes both equations work. Oh. Continuing on, this will start getting easier, okay? This is practice on your own. Just remember, it's a lot of steps. You got to get every single integer problem right. So see if you can do number 1, pause it, okay? Pause the video, see if you can do it, then play it and see if you get it right. That's how we're going to do these, okay? I'm going to go straight through and work them out. So pause, okay, and then work it out. So on this problem here, the y's are opposites already. I have a plus 1y and a minus 1y. I'm going to draw a bar and I'm going to add and go straight down. So 1x plus 1x is 2x. Remember, there's 1's in front of those x's. The y's cancel out. 2 plus 4 is 6. Divide by 2, and I'm going to get x equals 3. Oh. Then I would take the top one. There's no negatives. X plus y equals 2. Rewrite the whole equation, and you're going to replace the x with 3. Notice on the left side, there's 2 columns. On one side, you're getting 1 letter. You're going to write another column, get the other letter. And then solve this for y, just move the 3 over, and y is going to be negative 1. And then your ordered pair, x comma y. So at 3 comma negative 1, those 2 lines would cross. Pretty simple stuff. Go to number 2. On number 2, you have an opposite. Going to add and go straight down, solve for the x and y. Pause the video. Now then, since you pause it, let's go through and see if you got it right. So the y's are opposites. I'm going to draw a bar, go straight down and add. So the y's cancel out. Negative, there's a 1 right here. Negative 1 plus 2 is x. That's going to be pretty cool because I don't have to divide. And negative 3 plus 5 is 2. My x is 2. Now then, I'm going to use the 2, 3, 5 because there's no negatives. So I'm going to write the 2, 3, 5, the 2x plus 3y equal 5. There's no negatives in it, so that's going to be easy. Replace the x with 2, right? 2 times 2 is 4, and this is going to be a fraction. Okay, did I do that right? Yep. Okay, move the 4 over, and I'm going to get 3y equals 1, divide by 3. So y is going to end up being 1/3. So my ordered pair would be 2 comma 1/3. Don't freak out if you get a fraction, okay? If you put 2 comma 1/3 in there, they both work out, okay? Oh, so at 2 comma 1/3, the 2 lines would intersect. Go to number 3. Now then on number 3, you do not have an opposite, but the y's are the same. So you're going to multiply the bottom equation by negative 1, and that's going to make your y's opposites. Pause the video and do the work. And let's see if you can get it right. So we're going to multiply the bottom by -1. So we'll have 3x minus 2y equals 8. Multiply the bottom by -1 again. -2x plus 2y equals -5. Draw a bar. 3x minus 2x is x, and 8 minus 5 is 3. Notice I don't have to divide on that, so I know my x is 3. I'm going to write, let's do the bottom equation. 225 is a little bit smaller. They both have negatives. And I'm going to replace that x with 3. 2 times 3 is 6, minus 2y equals 5. And unfortunately, we're going to get another fraction. I don't know why they're doing that. You're going to divide by -2, and you'll end up with y equals 1/2. So my ordered pair would be 3, 1/2. Ho, 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 ho. Let's go to number 4. On number 4, notice that the y's are opposite signs, but 3 does not go into 5. But 1, this 1 does go into the 3. So if I multiply the bottom equation by -3, I'm going to have a 3 and a -3 on it. So pause the video, see if you can go through and do the work. Now let's get going. The top equation did not change. So write down 3x minus 5y equal -2. And then you're going to bluebell truck that -3. So you'll get -3x minus 9y equals 12. Draw a bar. The 3's cancel, or the x's cancel out. -14y equals, that should be a -12. -2 minus 12 is -14. Divide both of them by -14. Sorry about that. And I'm going to get y equal 1. Oh. Now then, I'm going to take the bottom one because 1, 3, 4 smaller. So x plus 3y equals 4. And I'm going to replace the y with 1, aren't I? So 3 times 1 is 3. What can I add to 3 to get to 4? I could add 1, right? So my x will also be 1. If you put 1, 1 in there, it works out. So my ordered pair is 1, 1. Ho, 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 ho. Remember, you're trying to make the x and y one of those opposites. Sometimes you'll have to multiply by a negative. And we got 2 more in the notes, and you get to do your homework, and it's going to be so much fun. Let's look at number 5. On the x's, the 2 does not go in the 3, does it? But on the y's, I can make the top y -3 and the bottom y +3. So I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by -3. That's going to make that -y plus 3. So I'm going to take the first equation and write it down. Nothing changed. And then I'm going to multiply by -3, aren't I? I'm going to bluebell truck. I got to multiply 3 times. -3 times 2 is a -6x. -3 times -1 is a +3y. -3 times a -5 is a +15. Draw a bar. The y's cancel out. 3 minus 6 is -3x equals 12. Divide by -3, and I'm going to get x equals -4. Ho, 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 ho. Now then, I'm going to take the bottom equation a little bit smaller. 2x minus y equals -5, and replace the x with -4. 2 times -4 is -8. Move over the -8. This is a lot of steps. -y equals -5 plus 8 is a +3. Divide both sides by -1 or just switch the signs and you'll get y equal -3. So your ordered pair would be -4, -3. So draw your ordered pair and box it so your teacher can see it. And if you plug -4, -3 in there, they both work out. Oh, 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 oh. More power. And the last one. Let's go to the last one. Something funky is going to happen on this one. Let's eliminate the x. So to eliminate the x, I want to make a -6 and a +6, don't I? I already have the +6, so I'm going to multiply the top equation by -2. So I'm going to get -2, -2, -2, and I'm going to get -6x minus 2y equals -4. First time you've had a problem like this. 6x plus 2y equals 4. Notice what's going to happen when I go straight down and add. Everything cancels out. I'll get 0 equals 0. That is true. If your x's and y's cancel out and it's true, the answer is infinitely many solutions. If the answer was false, it would be no solution, okay? Oh, what a blast. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. You're entering a bigger world in your Algebra 1. This is tedious, okay? Do not get frustrated if you're having trouble with this. This isn't easy. If you miss one integer error, it's all wrong. So take your time, use your calculator. Remember, you are amazing, you are created to do wonderful things, and you are awesome.